37 weeks today. Oh my goodness. Time has just absolutely flown by, and it really means that baby girl could be here any moment. She could arrive this week, or she could stay snug and continue baking until after my due date, which is also crazy, just not knowing when she's coming. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update of what's been happening in the past 3 weeks. So baby girl's actually growing quite small, and I think it would explain the size of my tummy at 9 months. But yeah, she's growing a little bit small, under the average here, but I did have to go for further checkups at the hospital with the gynecologists. So here in the Netherlands, as when you fall pregnant, your care goes straight to the midwives and not to the gynecologists, and only if they expect some issues or anything and want further checks, then you go to the gynecologists at the hospital. So we went for 2 checks with the gynaes about 3 weeks ago, and then last week. So the first check, they measured her. They were a bit worried about her being underweight, and it's not about only the weight, but the size of her abdomen, her stomach. So they weren't very happy with the proportion of her stomach in comparison to the rest of her body. But they told me to come back in 12 days and remeasure, and as long as the growth of her stomach has been in line with her same curve, then it's okay. And if it drops below, if the next measurement drops below the way that her curve should be, then they might have had to induce me early, and I would have gone straight under the care of the gynecologist at the hospital. And I'm actually not too sure what would have happened if that was the case, but good news is that she was growing along her curve, so she will be smaller than the average here, which I guess the average is 3 kilos, 3 to 3.5 kilos, and she is currently weighing 2.3 kilos. So they're thinking that if she stays until due date, she'll be around 2.5, 2.7, which to me is still a good size because I was born super small. I was at 1.8 when I was born. Okay, I was 5 weeks early, but because of a similar reason that I wasn't growing inside my mom's tummy, and they took me out early. So yeah, I would have thought that a small baby means that you stay in longer, but it's actually, they were worried about something called fetal growth restriction, where basically the placenta doesn't feed the baby in the correct way, and therefore they're actually better off outside the body than inside the body, because inside they're not getting the nutrients that they need in order to grow properly. But luckily that is not the case for baby, and she is growing. She's just growing small, and yeah, we are able to carry on our care with the midwives, and I can still continue with my plan of going to the birthing clinic instead of the hospital. Of course, if at any moment the midwives recommend that I go to the hospital, or they even suggest then I will go. I'm not opposed to going to the hospital. I would, however, really love a water birth, so we will see if I manage to do that. Of course, there's the risk that I might have to have all the monitors on me to get checked, to check her, and then you're not allowed in the water, obviously, with the heart rate monitors and stuff on you all the time. So we'll see how that goes. I'm trying not to think of it as a birth plan, but as a birth wish list, and I have obviously the ideal situation in my head, but it might not always go to plan. So for now, I am on maternity leave. I'm trying to take it really easy, but I'm also not, because I have a to-do list and things that I really want to get done before she arrives. And because I have no idea when she's arriving, I mean, I could literally go into labor today. Then I'm like, do I have everything I need? So I'm thinking a bit on the panic motion like that. Yeah, so it's been a little bit crazy. There's obviously so many things that I want to do at home still. We're still busy setting up the house from the renovations, and the house isn't exactly how I would like it to be either, but I guess nothing's ever going to be perfect enough, especially my standards. So I'm just trying to also take it slow, and I think I need to really schedule in resting time, because every time I try rest, I think of something else that I need to do. And I think today's plan is really just to make a to-do list of and prioritize absolutely necessary things to do before she comes, and then other things that I just want to, but I could maybe just do them at a later stage. So that's a little bit of an update. There was a little bit of panic and worry that I would have had to be induced early, to get her out because she's not growing correctly, but like I mentioned, luckily that's not the case, and she could be baking for another 4 weeks, or yeah, come anytime on her own. So here, after a week overdue, they do offer like a membrane sweep, which isn't a medical induction, but it can start labor. So we have that scheduled for a week after her due date, and we can decide whether we want to do that or not. It's not mandatory, but it's scheduled just in case you do want to do it. So if she's not out by a week after her due date, we'll then decide whether to do the membrane sweep or to just wait for labor naturally. I hope this gives you guys a little bit more insight into what's happening. I still want to show you guys her room, the progress of her room. I've done an unboxing of the stroller. We are actually, yeah, we're getting there with a few things, so that's really good. And I have it all documented, and I'd really like to show you guys. So it's all coming, it's on its way, and I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching.